Released on December 10th, 2019, Boneworks is a VR game you've probably heard of before. If not, Boneworks is one of the most elaborate VR sandbox games to ever come out. Akin to games that shaped the idea of gaming, such as Half-Life, Halo, or Doom, to many people, Boneworks was the flagship VR game when it came out. It was the first VR game that people played or watched others play because of how different it was to the status quo. It was odd, dreamlike, but innovative in the infancy of VR games. Even in the early tech demo in 2018 in the action teaser, you could see how far they wanted to go into making a video game that not only expressed themselves creatively, but also one that explored different outlets of VR. VR games from a technical standpoint have always needed a lot of growth to be done before they leaped into another direction. Boneworks, even for all its jank, was an experiment to influence and give thoughts to ideas in games that probably wouldn't have existed without its change in direction. Now, I'm not saying Boneworks is perfect, nor am I saying that Boneworks is the father of all VR games. But I want to talk about the importance of Boneworks to the VR scene and overall, what it did to influence our current VR games. And with the recent news of its remake, I want to go back through the states of VR that we had before 2019 and up to now to see how Boneworks shaped and the ideas that may have came from the creation of Boneworks. Dating back before the release of Boneworks, there were many small games that gained a cult following at that time. Games like Job Simulator, Robo Recall, and Beat Saber come to mind as one of the most defining games of its time. They all had special ways to push out VR with different styles of storytelling, gameplay, and overall their creativity and how they wanted to express themselves. And while some of them pushed boundaries in the ways that they showed off different mechanics by each and every single one, they never really went outside the box like Boneworks did. They stayed in that same sort of bubble, with teleportation, snap turning, and even staying static and not moving. They restricted people from feeling more immersed in the games that they were into, and a lot of those differences kind of made or break a lot of experiences. The closest thing I can think of with freeform movement at that time was Blade and Sorcery. Back in 2018 and 2019, it did amazing with the immersive sandbox genre, having good body movement, detailed combat, and varied gameplay. That was very unique, even while rough around the edges. Although, the only downside with that is Blade and Sorcery was the only game that fit that style of play. No other games went through the idea of making something like it. And most VR games were ported through AAA games like Skyrim, Fallout, and Doom VR. They all felt a little shallow, and a lot of the things that came into VR didn't feel expressive enough to really garner any type of attention. But Boneworks gave sandbox VR the push it needed to stand out. The growth of Boneworks was massive. It gained over 200,000 players in the first week, and online people watched it grow. Video after video was made talking about it, playing it, and deciphering it. Not only did it grow itself, but there are many games now that have features that are similar to Boneworks. Half-Life Alyx is one of them. Valve went in to create something not only physically interactive, but also adding mod support with varied weapons, enemies, and environments, letting them show off the systems of the game to pull in and immerse the player. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners also comes to mind, having a unique physical system for swinging, shooting, and interacting with enemies. All of it comes together to create this gameplay that grabs the player. There were many VR games that I believe were inspired by Boneworks and that had a lot of drive towards that physicality that not many games before Boneworks had that leap to go to. And now that they understand that doing this can be successful, the creation of Boneworks was very important. It may not have started a revolution, but it gave life to a lot of games and most likely started projects such as mods or different game demos or games that have been anticipated for a really, really long time. The point is, after the creation of Boneworks, after that leap into something completely different in the VR world, many things changed. And I think genuinely, Boneworks is and will always be the most innovative VR game of all time. Overall, let me say that I'm just very happy about where VR is going at the moment. It is sometimes jank, it has bad glitches and the like, but it is a new way to play video games, and create something completely different outside of what video games currently are. And let me say, I am very excited about the Boneworks remake, and all the support that's coming to Bone Lab, and especially a lot of the VR creations that I've been seeing to and from. The Light Brigade, Underdogs, and even Beyond Sandbox that I showed earlier is amazing to see where they're going and what they're going to be doing. For my first video, I hope I did well to entertain or give anybody anything to think about. If you like this video and decide of your own free will to subscribe or do whatever you wish, then I thank you so much, and I thank you for especially getting to the end of this video. This was my first time ever making anything like this, anything this long form, anything this fun. While this video was very difficult to create, for me at least, it was very fun to get different things and understand different things about my favorite video games that have ever came out, and I want to do this more often. Either way, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.